Once upon a podcast, now I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about the Batman movie's delay, and that part is pretty darn easy to talk about. I want to talk about how it's not all bad news, kind of look on the positive side, talk about any of the updates on this movie as well, and there's a little bit of all that kind of stuff. So the movie's been officially pushed back. Now, we said this, we talked about this around like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I said that seems like, but I read from a lot of different people, they were saying that this movie looks very, very likely that it's going to be pushed. We talked really about all the reasons why I could come up with, right? Like why it makes sense that the movie would be pushed. But in that video, we said, all right, well, it's either going to get moved a lot or it's either going to be moved a little bit. And we've seen movies over the, since this stuff happened, right? And again, I don't say it for those that are new. Ever since this stuff happened, we've seen movies take big jumps. Fast 9, right? Moving 11 months. But some movies just moving a little bit, moving like a month. SpongeBob, who likes SpongeBob? That was moved 2 months. Wonder Woman was only moved 2 months. Now, will Wonder Woman and SpongeBob and those movies still come out in July or August? Maybe not. Black Widow moved from May 1st, I think, right, to November. So that's a little bit, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But that was the option for Batman, right? Do you push it like a year because you like that June spot, for whatever reason, or do you keep it, you try and keep it in the same year? Well, the good news, bad news, it's delayed. Good news, it's only pushed from June 25th to October 1st. That's not all that bad. That's truly not all that bad. Now it comes out before or after. It used to come out before. Now it's coming out after the Suicide Squad. So that's a little interesting. I don't know if that necessarily matters to anybody because it is just so kind of different. We also got, Flash got moved up a little bit. We got Aquaman. We got Shazam was moved 7 months. That one's a big one, right? That one's pushed quite a bit. So some DC movie shuffling. 2021 and 2022 are going to be pretty big years for DC, right? You got the Suicide Squad, you got Wonder Woman still this year, you got the Suicide Squad, you got Batman, you got Flash, you got Shazam, and you got Aquaman, all within the next 2.5 years. Not all that bad. That's like 5-6 movies in that amount of time. So yeah, it sucks. June 25th is 3 days before my birthday. It's a nice time period for a movie to come out. July is normally where you send movies to die, right? July and August. July it normally has actually some pretty solid ones, but as you get to later in July and then all throughout August, that's when you start to normally have some problems. So June 25th worked for me. October 1st, same day as when Joker, came out back last year. So that's one that maybe they feel comfortable with having that kind of thing. We also got that they talked about October 1st being like that Halloween time, and even that kind of arc that he took in the comics and how that could be, or I believe the writer even said like the mood is important, or like literally when the movie is coming out, like that is actually important to the tone of the movie. So seems pretty cool. I mean, this movie can be super good. We've talked about it, right? We've talked about the potential that this movie has, and I am pumped for it. We haven't seen much from the set because they only had filmed 25% of this movie before everything started happening. I'm sure once they get back going, we're going to see some pretty darn cool things going on in the set. We'll be able to start to speculate a little bit more because a lot of the stuff, we know some villains, we know who's playing all these characters and stuff like that. We really don't know where the story is going, where it's going to take us, and not that set photos will really, give us a 100% view of everything, but at least it's a little bit. But again, it's not all that surprising. Really, I forgot about, I haven't been thinking about this like every day, but this is totally a movie that, again, even like 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, this is one of those movies that once you saw all these movies in the short term being moved, and then that, okay, well, all these films being made, like being filmed right now, they're going to have to be pushed too because nobody's filming, right? So it's kind of been a film that I was expecting that one day I was just going to wake up and see, oh, it got pushed. Like, it's about time, right? In like a negative way. Like, obviously, like I don't want it to happen. But this was something that I think a lot of people probably saw coming. It does suck. I mean, it did move, a few months, definitely a few months. So that is not the greatest news in the world, but I am happy that it didn't get moved all the way. And I think even other people were saying that too. Like, does this get moved a full year? Because just because you lose 1 or 2 months on filming doesn't necessarily mean that those slide over, you know what I mean? And like, okay, you lost 2 months of filming, so now the movie comes out 2 months later. Doesn't necessarily work like that, right? They're not exactly like one to one. So like because they lost 2 months, maybe that pushed even further. There was a lot of people. There were I think all the quote unquote experts out there, they were saying it was going to get delayed, but they were also throwing out that they thought it was going to get delayed a full year, going into 2022. So I think this is the best case scenario that only got pushed like 3 months. Like it's not the biggest deal in the world. Now it gets just pushed more towards that holiday time, and then we have, I guess, a little bit less time to wait. I mean, we have Suicide Squad and then Batman in close proximity. Then we have to wait a little bit until we get the next batch of DC movies. So still stuff to be excited about. We'll be definitely talking about this Batman movie more once there's stuff about it, right? Again, there's not really much going on in terms of filming or in terms of news because just things aren't happening. But when they are and when they do happen, I will definitely be covering it on this channel. So guys, let me know in the comments, were you upset by the delay? Did you see it coming? You knew to expect it? What do you think of the new date, October 1st? Do you think that works for Batman? What do you think it does mean for like the tone and the mood of the movie? All those things, again, let me know in the comments below. And like I said, as we get more stuff, once this movie starts to pick up, as we get closer to October 1st of 2021, we'll definitely be covering this movie a whole lot more on this channel, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're all subscribed and have that bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next video.